And thank you to the Ridenhour Foundation. I believe I speak for all three of us when I say we are more than a bit humbled to be recognized for merely doing what our profession demands. Physicians and lawyers have affirmative obligations to defend human rights and human dignity as tenets of our profession. In the case of things coming full circle, I'm happy to share with you that I learned most of what I know about the obligations of professionals to society as a Soros Fellow. Society grants physicians and lawyers great privileges and powers, but society expects certain things in return. Protecting the health and safety of children is one of those things. The three of us worked quietly and behind the scenes to monitor the care of children and families in U.S. immigration detention facilities and the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties. From the start, we were deeply conflicted about the detention of children, and we conveyed our concern in terms verbally and in written reports to the highest levels of the department. We even successfully pressed for the immediate closure of the first family detention facility we visited due to dangerous conditions we identified there, something that has never previously been disclosed to either the Congress or the public. However, last spring, the administration launched a reckless and poorly conceived policy called zero tolerance. With our intimate knowledge of the harms of family detention on children in particular, Dr. McPherson and I had a clear professional obligation to notify Congress when the Department of Homeland Security and the administration ignored our warnings. We are very honored by this award and strengthened by your support. But harms to children and families we warned against are continuing as we speak. Children and their families remain in harm's way through actions the government is taking in our names. Our work is not done, which makes your recognition all the more important. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. Our efforts will continue.
I add my thanks to all of you, and here at the Press Club, particularly journalists. Journalists are our champions, now more than ever. Without the voice that journalists give our truth, I would just be left kvetching with these two guys, and where would that get us? Where would it get those children? Never stop the important work that you do. Our truth is that the separation and detention of children causes harm. Our firsthand experience, informed by science, left no doubt that these actions could have devastating medical and mental health consequences for children, lifelong consequences. Like many of you, we are parents. We were devastated by the images of tearful, frightened children torn from distraught parents. As Scott said, our professional responsibility to protect the health and rights of others was clear. We were and are privileged to be three of many, including Dr. Kraft, giving voice to America's moral outrage over traumatizing immigrant children. It continues to be our honor to speak out. Nelson Mandela said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way it treats its children." Sometimes it feels like America has lost her soul. It's our greatest hope that America recognize her obligation to immigrating children, that we find our soul. Thank you for hearing our truth. It is our hope to continue to speak the truth and to inspire others to speak the truth. Our voices do matter. Speak for children having a childhood. speak for families staying together. You may never know who you inspire, and know that children are watching us. Use your voice, your pen, your camera. Be the change. Know that what you do matters. You inspire us. Thank you.
Thank you. Pardon me. In addition to all the thanks from Scott and Pam, and I really want to countersign all of their remarks, I'd like to thank Mike Madden at the Washington Post and the producing team at 60 Minutes that helped us to bring our part of this much larger story forward. And I also, thank you. And I'd also like to acknowledge a couple of journalists in particular who really broke the family separation story long before we came on the scene, and that's Lomi Creel at the Houston Chronicle, who was really starting this in November of 2017, and Dara Lind at Vox, who picked apart the false data that CBP was using to try to justify a further family separation policy. Unlike Scott and Pam, we attorneys lack the clear moral compass provided by something like the Hippocratic Oath. And some attorneys, as I think we've learned this year, seem to lack a compass altogether. The closest my profession comes is the constitutional requirement that it's a somewhat circular formulation, but the government may not do that which shocks the conscience. That's the Fifth Amendment standard. Does it shock the conscience? Thousands of families and children have come to our country in recent years, fleeing crime and poverty and seeking safety in a situation that lacks easy answers. But as we now understand, senior members of this administration hoped that by further traumatizing these people, word would spread that this country is such a cruel place that no one should come to ask for protection from us, and that people would stop coming. I think the country should be proud of the immediate public revulsion at that idea. Thank you. As Scott noted in his remarks, family separation did not end with the executive order that ended the zero-tolerance prosecution policy. Families do continue to be separated by the border agencies for other reasons. Please do not let this become a story that passes from the front page and passes from memory the moment that it's not something that we're hearing about every morning. So we're all grateful for the honor of this award, but in accepting it, I think we all want to emphasize that the truth that was really told in this process during the acute phase of family separation was the truth that was told by the American people, that we all know better than to hurt someone's child to make a point. So thank you all very much, and thanks to everybody.